video where we look through all the monarchs of England. You'll remember that we started with William I, William the Conqueror, and we looked at his son, William II, who was accidentally killed on a hunting trip, which left our next king, Henry I, or Beauclerc, in charge. And rumour had it that he set up William II to be killed so he could take the throne. So he's not as handsome as his brother. He looks kind of mean and a little bit scary, if I'm honest. So what can we learn about is Henry I? So he lived from 1068 till the 1st of December 1135. He reigned from the 2nd of August 1100 to the 1st of December 1135. Now Henry was known as the Lion of Justice, an energetic, decisive, but occasionally cruel ruler. He defeated his own brother Robert in battle, taking Normandy for England, after which he kept peace in England for 33 years. Sadly, he lost his sons William and Richard to a shipwreck in 1120, and supposedly never smiled again. Well, you wouldn't, would you? That's tragic. And weirdly enough, he named his sons after his dad and brother and his brother. But what a shame. So what else can we learn about Henry I? So, Henry I grabbed the throne as quickly as possible after his elder brother William II was killed, making sure his troublesome brother Robert, Duke of Normandy, didn't beat him to it. He had the same problems with his rebellious brother Robert as William II had before him, and eventually, egged on by some of Robert's own subjects, Henry invaded Normandy. At the Battle of Tinchebrai in France, he finally beat Robert for good and went on to keep his brother prisoner for the rest of his life. Normandy was now completely under English rule. It seems a little bit extreme to keep your brother locked up for the whole of his life just for being rebellious, but I guess those times were a lot different to what they are now. Alright, so Henry married Edith, who was the daughter of Malcolm III, who was the King of Scots, in a clever move which won the friendship of the Scots. Edith was also descended from the Anglo-Saxon King Edmund II, also known as Ironside, and the marriage therefore reinforced the line of Saxon blood. The Queen was renamed Matilda in honour of Henry's own mother, and the couple went on to keep up the line of royal Matildas by giving their eldest daughter the same name. never smiled again. The king named his one remaining legitimate child, his daughter Matilda, as his heir. It's very sad. Oh, but it gets a little bit more convoluted. Royal romance. So Henry I had 3 children, as we know, with his wife Matilda, but he had at least 21 illegitimate children with other women. Wow, that's a lot of children. And it kind of makes you wonder how many of us in the world are actually descended from the illegitimate children of royals or presidents or, that sort of thing. I always wonder about that. I don't suppose there's any way you would ever find out, but there we are. So an awkward end. Although his physician had banned him from eating eels, Henry went against this advice, and one evening in the winter of 1135, whilst staying at his royal hunting lodge in Normandy, Henry gorged himself on lampreys, eels, and died as a result at the age of 67. And I don't know why I'm laughing, but it just seems funny that he died eating the thing he loved. But it's like, I told you so sort of moment. But 67 is a really, really old age, especially back in like the 10th, 11th century, when, life expectancy was about 30 or 40, so really good age. So, we won't view the worksheet, but let's have a look at the painting. Let's have a look at Henry in glorious detail. So, like his brother, he has the long sort of hair, but he has a substantially more impressive beard than his brother William II. His robes are a little bit more practical, I would say, still regal. But, he looks like a king to me. And like the facts tell us, he's not smiling at all. His eyes are pretty kind of dead. He looks either cross or sad or angry or a mixture of all of those. So there is Henry. I'm going to attempt his coup failed, he agreed to sign the Treaty of Alton, confirming Henry as King of England in return for Henry's territories in Normandy. But will the peace last? So in 1120, Henry's son and heir William drowns at sea. The Daily Monarch from 1120. Henry's son and heir William drowns at sea. William and his half-brother Richard. Oh, they actually didn't mention that Richard was the half-brother. It's weird. The sons and heirs of Henry I drowned at sea when their vessel, the White Ship, hit a rock on its return from Normandy. Henry's daughter Matilda, the Holy Roman Empress, wife of Holy Roman Emperor Henry V, is now heir to the throne. And then in 1135, Henry I dies. So let's see the family tree. So we have William I, William II, Henry I, and then we will move on to these people soon in our upcoming videos. Let's go back to Henry and let's take the quiz here. Question 1 of 4. What relation to William II was Henry I? Was he his cousin? Was he his son? They were not related. He was his younger brother. I'm going to say he was his son. Oh, I see. Oops, that's incorrect. Henry I was the younger brother of William II. Their older brothers were Robert and Richard, and their father was William the Conqueror. Yes, I read that as William I. I apologize, but it's okay to be wrong. Question 2 of 4. Henry I insisted that his wife change her name from Edith to Matilda in honor of his mother. Was this true or was this false? I'm going to say true. Correct. Edith was renamed Matilda, and the couple went on to call their eldest daughter Matilda too. Matilda is the in-name, clearly. Next question. Question 3 of 4. After the defeat of his brother Robert, for how many years did Henry I keep the peace in England? Was it 33? Was it 50? Was it 20? Or was it 2? I'm going to say 33. Correct. After the defeat of Robert and the Treaty of Alton, Henry I kept peace in England for 33 years, which is quite an achievement. So question 4 of 4. By what title was Henry I also known? The Unready, Longshanks, the Conqueror, or the Lion of Justice? I am going to go with the Lion of Justice. Correct. As a decisive and sometimes cruel ruler, Henry was known as the Lion of Justice. And we got 3 crowns out of 4. Okay, so must see. But he seemed to have brought peace to England and taken care of the Normandy rebellion, which I suppose is a good thing. And he lived to a ripe old age of 67 as well. So, that is Henry I, and next time we will be looking at this chap here, Stephen. Pick up Steve. And we'll just be seeing the relationship between these two and how Stephen came to the throne.